Well, I think that if you're starting practice today in college basketball, then you're really excited. All 350 teams, or however how many there are really excited today, and it's those teams that can sustain that excitement and that energy level throughout the January and February. Those are the teams that are going to be playing and playing for something at the end. So everybody's excited today. We'll run around here real fast and have guys run into each other because they're trying real hard and all that kind of thing, because that's what happens on the first day of practice everywhere. But our guys have been very responsive, very good in terms of their efforts in trying to do what we want done. They've embraced the changes. They've embraced the newness of the culture. They've embraced me, and so we're ready to get going. I think they're excited about it. I know the coaching staff is, and this is always a great day in college basketball.
It's like the players have talked a lot about, and have been asked a lot about adjusting to a new coaching staff. But this is a major adjustment for you as well. You were in one place for quite a long time. How's that been for you so far?
It's been awesome for me because I feel like that I'm a little bit back to my roots, and I know when you're someplace for 17 years, you sort of become that, and it's been fun for me to get with a different group, but also a group with a different makeup and guys that are from different places, and honestly, there were times at Vanderbilt that those players didn't need my help really in their life, if that makes sense. They came from homes and backgrounds to where both parents were college educated, and they were going to be doing things similar to what they were doing whether I showed up in their life or not. I might be able to impact some of these guys a little bit more and in a better way than I've been able to for a while, and that's kind of exciting to me, because at the end of the day, this is all about these guys and their success. I had my turn. I played in the Final Four. I've coached in Final Fours, and so I had my turn as a player, especially, and it's their turn, and it's a great opportunity for me to try to influence them and impact their lives in a positive way.
Kevin, how early was that buy-in, and how anxious were you to see how these guys would adapt to a new staff?
You know, I was anxious. I think you're always anxious anytime you take over a new program, and the buy-in was fairly immediate. I think I thought that they accepted me pretty quickly. I think Sheldon Jeter probably had a lot to do with that. I think that his voice in the locker room of saying, "Hey, this guy is a good guy. He's going to help us. He's going to be there for us." That probably went a long way, because I know Sheldon was doing that. But I think over the course of time, one of two things happen: they either learn to trust you, or they learn not to trust you. And I think that for the 6 months that I've been here, I think that there's a pretty good level of trust. That they know that they can count on what I say, and they can count on what I do, and I back up the things that I tell them, both good and bad, and so I think from that standpoint, they trust that I am who I say I am, and that is a guy that's here to help them succeed.
Cam said that the group's very tight-knit. Does that help you sort of as a coach? How much does that help?
You know what? I think there are two different kinds of tight-knits. There's tight-knit off the court, which I think that we have down. I think our group is very, very together away from the court. And then there's together on the court. And I won't know how together we are on the court until we face some adversity. Because it's easy to be together right now. It's easy to be happy right now. I always say this is the best time of year for a college basketball coach, because every kid thinks that he's going to start and play 30 minutes a game. So they're all happy, they're all excited. But when those role definitions settle in and become somewhat settled, and certain guys don't get the role that they were hoping to get, or when an unexpected loss comes, or when some adversity hits your team, and it's coming, it's going to hit. That's when you find out how together you are on the court. And so I told him the other day, hey, it's great that we like each other, but let's be prepared for when we get hit in the mouth. That's when we have to be more together than ever.
how important are those four seniors when it comes to that?
Oh, I think they're really important to that, and they're really important to everything else because we will go as those guys go. And if they lead us in a productive and positive way, then everybody else will fall in line with that. If they are individualistic or self-driven, then it becomes a problem. So a lot of this season will hinge on the leadership abilities, the competitive character of those four guys, and I'm, at least so far, I'm really betting on them because they've been very, very good.
Players have talked about kind of a more strenuous training program this offseason. How important is that to playing like you want to play and doing it effectively?
Well, I don't know what they've done in the past. I just know that we've had success training the way we train. Our strength coach Gary Christopher is outstanding, and our players have bought into him very readily. And but you can't play this game well, and you can't win close games, and you can't be good at the end of games if you're not in great shape. And so it's in some ways it's the price of admission. You have to be in condition to play this game, and I don't know if you have to be in more condition to play the way we want to play. I mean, certainly we're going to run up and down the court more than what they seem to be used to, but a fatigued mind usually isn't very successful. And we have to have bodies and minds that are able to operate and function at their highest level, particularly at the end of games.
Was that a message you gave Chris in particular?
Not really. I think Chris got the message when I started calling him the Pillsbury Doughboy. And I said so lovingly, but I would go up and poke him in his tummy and see if he would laugh like the old commercial. But Gary, with Gary's help, Chris really transformed his body and is one of the best conditioned guys that we have out here right now. So I would say that Chris Jones has impressed me and has made as much progress in the 6 months that I've been here as any player on our team, and I'm real happy for him because he's a great kid and he's a great guy to be around. He's a guy that smiles and is happy, and he's what I call an energy giver. And there are two kinds of players. There are energy givers and energy suckers, and you can't have too many of one and one's too many of the other. So we like guys that give energy, and Chris does that.
About 6 months into your tenure here, Kevin, what are some of the growing pains or points of adjustment that you're noticing from your team, if at all?
Well, I think that the biggest one that I see right now is how do I play fast? How do I play really fast, running up and down the court really fast, but yet play under control? I think that's the biggest thing that they have to get their minds and their games and their attitudes wrapped around is, yes, we want to play fast, but we don't want to be stupid. And you know, I always tell them that there's two kinds of turnovers. There are careless turnovers and selfish turnovers. All turnovers fall into one category or the other for me. And I really despise careless, and I hate selfish a lot more than I hate careless. So we have to figure out how to play quickly, how to play fast, but how to play under control. And that's just a process that's going to have to be gone through before we figure that out.
Coach, has any one of these freshmen stuck out to you so far?
Well, we only have two, and they've both stood.
You could include Clark.
Yeah, well,
Newcomers.
okay, newcomers. Okay. I would say that Justice Kithcart has been the one that has probably stood out the most of those three. But I say that, and Corey had his best day that we've had yet on Tuesday. So Krishan is still coming back, and you can tell he's not all the way back from his knee's fine, but just kind of the rust part. He's still getting back ingrained into the rhythm and flow, but he's done some good things too. So all three of them have shown some signs. Justice has probably been the most consistent and of the three so far.
Kevin, most of these guys have been recruited to play a different system. Do you have a sense yet on court how they're going to react to the way you want to play?
Well, again, I think the biggest thing in terms of the physical reaction is how do we play at a faster pace but still play under control. From a mental standpoint, I think they're all bought in. I think they like the idea of playing fast. I think that they like the idea of I'm a guy that really gives them a lot of offensive freedom. It's just my nature, and I was an offensive player. I couldn't have guarded my butt with either hand, and that's why I didn't get to play more than I did. But I loved a coach that gave you a lot of offensive freedom and didn't play for many, but I like those that did, and so I just know as a player that it's easier to play if you're not in fear of making a mistake or missing a shot. And I don't want those guys to miss a shot and think, oh no, coach is going to take me out. Or I don't want them to make a turnover and say, oh no, coach is going to take me out, because eventually that negatively impacts their playing psyche. And actually, I want to do it the other way. I want them to be confident. Coach has confidence in me, and I think they'll play better. And now, if we, like I said, if we get a guy out there that's making selfish turnovers because he's being selfish, then the next horn will be for him, because I'll take him out. Or if a guy takes a couple of bad shots and they look like selfish shots to me, then that's not something that I'm good with. But as long as we play for each other, play for the team, and have that kind of mindset, then I want them to play with as much freedom as they can.